The deep core of the galaxy was known to be a densely packed mass of stars and planets. It was dangerous to navigate, and at its center there was supposedly a supermassive black hole that bound the galaxy together. In Star Wars Legends, a handful of deep core planets were inhabited but then slowly abandoned as it became more and more dangerous to live there. Today we'll go through all of the planets known to exist in the deep core in both Canon and Legends. Starting with the canon, the most prominent deep core world was the Wellspring of Life, visited by Yoda near the end of the Clone Wars. It was known to be powerful in the light side of the Force and was supposedly the birthplace of midichlorians. Shah Karat was a planet visited by Luke Skywalker and Nakari Kellen in the book Heir to the Jedi. It had a poisonous atmosphere and heavy volcanic activity that prohibited long-term habitation. Kojia was one of the few inhabited planets in the deep core and was home to the Kojian species. In a nearby sector of space was the planet Kaz Sekundu, which was colonized by genetically engineered relatives to the Kojians known as New Kojians. Moving on to the planets of Star Wars Legends, Biss was one of the most famous locations in the deep core. It was the secret throne world of Emperor Palpatine where he kept his hidden clones. It was like the antithesis of the Wellspring of Life, enshrouded in the dark side of the Force. Prakith was a volcanic world that was home to the tomb of Darth Andedu. 1,000 years before the Clone Wars, Darth Bane traveled there to find the ancient Sith Lord's holocron. Tython was known as the birthplace of the Jedi Order and its successor, the Jedi Order. It was known to be strong in the Force, and 36,000 years before the Galactic Civil War, it summoned Force-sensitive creatures from across the galaxy to gather there, where they learned to harness the power of the Force. When the Force Wars broke out against light and dark side users, Tython was devastated, and the Jedi abandoned the planet. Fury's Gate was a planet in the Tython system that was colonized by its non-Force sensitive settlers. It was home to an orbiting station called Fury Station that launched sleeper ships further into the deep core for exploration. Kalamar was another planet in the Tython system colonized by the same people that settled on Fury's Gate. It became known as the Jewel of the Tython system. Krev Koer was yet another world in the Tython system which had such a hot and dry surface, life forms required protection to survive there, but that didn't stop the same stubborn settlers from colonizing its underground network of caves, lakes, and jungles. Maltera and Sunspot were both minor planets in... holy cow, how many habitable planets were there in the Tython system? What makes it so special? These planets experienced violent storms when they passed each other in orbit, but the settlers made sure to colonize and set up mining operations on both. Mar and Obri were both gas giants located in, you guessed it, the Tython system. Together they were known as the Giants. The moons of both planets were colonized for gas mining operations. Nox was, again, a planet in the Tython system, this one colonized for manufacturing. Shikakwa was another colonized planet in the Tython system that was very hospitable, but came to be ruled by feudal clans of gangsters. And our final Tython system planet was Ska Gora, a forest planet that became home to floating city ships for most of the settlers. Had Abaddon was a mythical planet that was thought to have possible links to the origin of the Jedi Order. Over 100 years after the Galactic Civil War, it was home to a garrison of Darth Krayt's empire. Behind the scenes, Had Abaddon was the proposed name for the Imperial capital which appeared in early drafts of Return of the Jedi. Empress Teta was a similar planet to Coruscant, a world covered in one gigantic city. At times it was considered to be a rival of the Galactic Republic. Kurek was a planet in the Empress Teta system, and both played an important role in the ancient wars with the Sith. Ronica was another world in the Empress Teta system used as a prison colony during the time of the Great Hyperspace War. Kuar was a flat, rocky world that was located near Empress Teta on the way out of the deep core. Constancia appeared in an old Star Wars comic strip shown to be colonized by the pleasure-seeking Zeltron species. Callist 6 was a bleak, mountainous desert planet that housed an Imperial base and labor colony. It was the homeworld of Dak Ralter. After the Battle of Endor, Imperial warlord Sander Delvardis kept a fortress on the deep core planet Camp until he was assassinated by Admiral Natasi Dalla. 7 years after becoming a Jedi Knight, Luke Skywalker traveled to the planet Calm, where he found the Comites and a student that joined his Jedi Praxium. Ojum was a frozen ocean planet that was home to the Basilisk species. Several space stations orbited the world for visiting species that were unable to handle the cold. Tarkin's Fang was the name of a secret Imperial base planet hidden in the deep core. It was abandoned by the end of the Galactic Civil War. Vulpter is the last Legends planet that we have any real information about. It was massively polluted, covered in waste and factories. It was home to the Vulpter species and several corporations. Technically, Bis, Constantia, Empress Teta, Callist 6, Combe, Ojum, Prakith, Tython, and Vulpter are all canon planets. However, most of them have only been mentioned in passing in the Force Awakens beginner game, so we don't really have any actual information about any of them. And finally, there are 33 planets in Legends that have been mentioned but never fully detailed in Star Wars. Their names are Abenal, Adana, Alxel, Barbine, Bessero, Chell, Kristan 5, Drimule, Duvolian, Ebak, Eclipse, Gilad, Hakassi, Hool, Jeralek, Kiara Major, Kiris 1, Kiris 2, Kins, Kisarm, Mozos, Nur, Autobesk, Pelut, Firis, Foros, Polos, Relis, Triast, Volp Major, Volp Minor, and Vulpus. But that's it for today. If you like this comprehensive style video, you can watch this playlist for more. And if you have ideas for topics like this you want to see me cover in the future, let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.